Yeah, and I was here for the hurricane Laura, and then Delta right after. Hello, everybody. This is Ed back with another video, and today we're rolling through Sulphur, Louisiana. Sulphur is in Southwest Louisiana, right next door to Lake Charles, Louisiana, in Calcasieu Parish. I lived here for about, what was it, 2018 to 2021. So the late part of 2018 all the way up to the summer of 2021. Enjoyed my time here. I lived in Lake Charles, but I went through Sulphur a lot, so I got to know the city, and it's not bad, not a bad city. In my opinion, it's still growing. Lake Charles is growing. They got plants on top of plants on top of plants out here, and if you don't mind plants, and a lot of people around here make a really good living working in these plants, and that's why I was down here. I was a contractor working for a company that supported one of the plants here, and it that wasn't a bad gig. The company I worked for was pretty good. Can't complain about it, but I knew that Lake Charles wasn't my home forever and ever. So I went ahead and wanted to do some other things, and but it's not a bad place. You know, I got family down here, and it treated us good. As of the 2020 census, there were 21,809 people, 8,033 households, and 4,981 families residing in Sulphur. Racial and ethnic composition or breakdown of the city: you have white with 17,078, black or African American at 1,759, Native American or Alaska Native at 88, Asian at 263, Pacific Islander at 6, some other race at 38, mixed race, multiracial, 958, and Hispanic or Latino at 1,619. Yeah, and I was here for the hurricane Laura, and then Delta right after. But I did evacuate 60 miles east to Lafayette, Louisiana, and then I came back the next day after the storm. And now, in this great country that we live in, the United States of America, we do have our issues. We do have our issues, believe me. But I can honestly say that when there is a disaster or something happens to where we have to come together, we do come together as a people. And that's what's great about America. That's what's great is that if you've seen the amount of trucks, 18 wheelers, people with just a pot come through and hand out food, hand out water, try to give supplies, people donating their time, their money, you know, just to help the next man out. I mean, it was just a great thing to see people come together and say, "Look, you need help. Let me help you." My company, they gave out generators. I went in while I was at the office. I stayed and called all of our employees and asked if they needed anything, and we provided water. And if they needed a generator, we provided a generator, and the company helped us out with that. So we had 50 to 60 generators given out to our employees, you know, so they can continue to um, fix up or clean up whatever they had going on. And if they couldn't come to work, they couldn't come to work. Everybody was eventually accounted for. After a month, people started coming back and we started moving the operations again. Now, they did have some shady ass people though. Like, perfect example, we couldn't move back into our townhome, and a family member let me use their travel trailer, and there was one RV site that was available, had about 5 or 6 slots. I went back to check, think going on the website to check to see how much it cost, and thinking that I'm gonna, okay, I can do that, I can afford that. Let me go ahead and do it. It was like 150, $200, I think, a month. With all the connections and all that stuff. And then after calling the guy and saying, "Hey, yeah, I'd like to hook up, start the process. What do I need to do? Is there any down payment? Blah blah blah." All confident with my what I'm talking about. He's like, "Yeah, first month's rent is due for the space uh, at the day of signing, and and then you start paying every month." Okay, cool. All right. Well, where do I send the money? Yeah, so it'll be $400. I'm like, what the $400? So he raised that shit. He raised his prices double. So I'm paying $400 for a space. I just couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. So you have all these workers coming down with their RVs and travel trailers to fix everything back up so everybody can start working again. And what do? You charge them double for the space. Just last week before the hurricane cost $200 a month. That is wild. That is unbelievable. And man, that really did piss me off. I had to pay it because I couldn't park the trailer on the company property. They wouldn't let me do it. And I didn't want to do the, what do you call that? Dry camping or boondocking? Whichever the one. I'm not a camper, but uh, so I'm stuck paying $400 when the week before it's 200. And he had internet, but the internet sucked. But here's the thing: we didn't have electricity for about almost 2 weeks in there because they're still trying to figure that they were still trying to hook up the electricity. I wouldn't say 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half. And so we were all running generators. I mean, I'm paying $400 for a place to park my camper. That was very depressing, and I marked that down as straight up greed, taking advantage of the situation. And you're gonna have some people like that, and I sure got hit with that. I tried to find other places, but there was nothing else. Everything was full. Maybe they kept, maybe those sites kept their prices and not try to gouge people during an event like this. But it's what it is, you know. And I was just fortunate to have a camper to where I didn't have to commute back and forth between Lafayette or Baton Rouge to get to work. So I was fortunate with that. But yeah, that was a rough go. So as we were still recovering from Laura, Delta formed, and it was headed our direction also. So Hurricanes Laura and Delta both hit Louisiana in 2020, with Laura making landfall as a Category 4 storm in late August, and Delta making landfall as a Category 3 storm 6 weeks later. Laura caused an estimated $16 billion in damages, while Delta caused an additional $4 billion in damages. Delta's winds ripped off temporary tarping from buildings that had been damaged by Laura's winds, and also caused problems with tree and structural debris on roads and in drainage ditches. So Hurricane Laura made landfall near Cameron, Louisiana, and Hurricane Delta made landfall about 11 miles from Laura's location. That's insane.